Hey everyone, welcome back to Cami Home. If you haven't already, make sure you like and subscribe to stay up to date for all of our latest products. Today I'm going to go over how to mount your Fall Detect by Cami Care. Before we get to mounting your Fall Detect camera, I want to go over a few pointers and things that you should keep in mind when choosing the best camera location. In order to get the most accurate location for your camera sensor, it's very important to properly position your camera or cameras to avoid any blind spots and ensure that you get the best coverage. So it is advised to install 2 camera sensors opposite each other per room to cover as much ground as possible. Now this way each camera's field of view can overlap with the blind spot of the other camera sensor and eliminate any blind spots. Now this will ensure that your sensor doesn't miss a fall. So I'm going to quickly go over what a blind spot is so you can keep this in mind while choosing a location for your camera. A blind spot is an area of the room that isn't in the field of view of your camera sensor, and therefore falls cannot be detected here. So there are 2 types of blind spots: directly below your camera and behind furniture like beds, sofas, or around a corner, as you can see in the images on the screen. If you're mounting your camera on a ceiling, the camera sensor should be mounted with the round camera head towards the floor like so. And the camera head should also be pulled back about 45 degrees to cover the largest portion of your room, just like this. But if you're mounting your camera sensor on a wall, it should be placed horizontally, and you should also tilt the round camera head back till you can't tilt it anymore, which is about 45 degrees, just so you get the best view of your room. So make sure that the camera head is centered correctly so that the view of your room doesn't get distorted. And what I mean by that is that this camera lens is centered between the 2 little buttons in the front of the camera, just like this. So this is going to have the best optimal position to see the room that you place your sensor in. Another tip to keep in mind when choosing a location is make sure that it is close enough to an electrical outlet so that it can be plugged in. For more information on blind spots and mounting tips, make sure to check out the Cami Home website. Now, it's time to go over how to properly mount your Fall Detect sensor. So there are 2 options you have when choosing how to mount your sensor. You can either mount it to the wall or mount it to the ceiling. First, I'm going to go over how to mount the Fall Detect camera to a wall. The first step you should do is mark the holes where you want your camera to sit. Keep in mind, you need to make sure the camera is at least 7.5 feet from the floor, and it should be close enough to be plugged into a power outlet. Next, drill in the 2 holes you have marked using a drill. And you can push in the included anchors by hand into the holes you have just drilled and lightly tap them using a hammer. Next, take the included camera mount and attach that into the wall using the provided screws. Grab your camera and place the bottom on the mount and turn it clockwise 90 degrees. The sensor should be facing down, and make sure the power cable is plugged into the camera when you do so the cord can be hanging down after it's mounted like so. You are now ready to install the cable covers. Choose the cover that is cut at a slight angle and attach it over the cable and behind the sensor. You can now attach the other covers down the wall. When you are all finished mounting your camera to the wall, the final installation should look something like this. The other option you have when mounting your Fall Detect is to the ceiling. Now remember, this will depend on what is best for your room and which option gives you the best view with the least amount of blind spots. When mounting your camera sensor to the ceiling, we recommend placing it in a corner. Grab your sensor mount and mark 2 holes where you want your camera to be. Next, drill in the holes using a drill. The next step is to take your anchors and push them in and then gently tap them in with a hammer. Now, take the camera mount and attach it into the ceiling using the provided screws. Now it's time to grab your camera sensor and make sure the power cord is plugged in. Take the bottom of your sensor and turn it clockwise at 90 degrees. The sensor should be hanging upside down. Now it's time for your cable covers. Grab the cable cover that is cut to 90 degrees and place it over the cable behind your sensor. You've now successfully mounted your camera to the ceiling. I hope you found this video helpful. Remember, if you need more information on tips and choosing the right camera mount location or more information on blind spots, make sure you check out the Cami homepage for more information. And if you haven't already, make sure you like and subscribe so you can come back for more videos on Fall Detect and setting it up in the app, as well as our other products. We'll see you next time.